Hello all, welcome to the top T and 5 or 6. And in this video I will be talking about some of the craziest and forgotten scandals. Oh my gosh. You may not remember this child, but she was one of the most promising young talents of the 80s. Her name was Judith Barsi, a talent, screen and voice actress. Barsi is best remembered as the voice of Ducky in The Land Before Time and the voice of Anne Marie in All Dogs Go to Heaven. Barsi was so mature and professional that she was frequently cast to play characters that were older than her, an extreme rarity for a child actor, but dangerous as well. Behind the scenes though, Barsi struggled with a tumultuous family life, including an abusive and alcoholic father. On January 25, 1988, Joe Barsi murdered his wife and 10-year-old daughter in their home in Canoga Park, California, and then shot himself. Friends reported that Joe had often made threats against Judith and her mother, but that no one had taken him seriously, making their horrific deaths all the more tragic. This is one of the scandals that are forgotten and overlooked, but that's another video. But did you all know that Jerry Lewis was married to his 13-year-old cousin, even though his publicist insisted at the time that she was actually 15? But Lewis was only 22 years old. Yep, he was married to Myra Gail Brown, and he tried to keep the marriage a secret until a British journalist outed them to the press. The scandal almost destroyed Lewis' career. Keyword, almost destroyed his career, but he later managed a slight comeback, and guess what? He didn't even go to jail. It was all good. But let's move on. Never mind. It seems that Fatty Arbuckle, he was a comedian actor and in silent films known for his lovable and old fish persona. Off screen, however, he was a bit of a party animal, and though the details of what actually happened remained unclear, his affinity for letting things get a little out of control seems to have caught up with him. It was after a party at Arbuckle's house, whereas a young actress named Virginia Rapp was rushed to the hospital where she ultimately died. Virginia had suffered from a ruptured bladder and other apparent physical trauma, and rumors quickly circulated that her death had been the result of a violent sexual assault. After one of Virginia's friends accused Arbuckle directly, the case actually went to trial. Arbuckle was, of course, exonerated, but his public image was ruined and his career never fully recovered. But again, he got off. Some of you may remember Lana Turner and her Cheryl Crane, who was accused of stabbing Turner's boyfriend. The victim was Johnny Stampinato, a small-time criminal. Turner had been seen romantically. Crane was 14 years old at the time and was tried for murder and was ultimately acquitted, claiming she had stabbed Stampinato after overhearing him threatening to kill her mother. Many speculated that it had in fact been Turner herself who dealt the fatal blow and then allowed the crime to be pinned on her daughter instead. Others more sordidly suggested that Crane had been romantically involved with Stampinato herself. Crane published a memoir back in 1988 called Detour, in which she detailed the incident and ensuing trial. I'll leave the link below. Joan Crawford. You remember this? The infamous Joan Crawford. And I'm sure many of you may have seen the movie. Well, in her heyday, Joan Crawford was one of the most powerful and in-demand performers in Hollywood. She was known for being a perfectionist as well as for her extreme professionalism and powerful screen presence. Crawford was married 4 times and adopted a total of 4 children, despite many childhood photo ops that suggested her children were living a fairy tale life of luxury. The oldest adoptees, Christina and Christopher, were both highly critical of Crawford as adults. In 1978, shortly after Crawford's death, her daughter Christina published a autobiography called Mommy Dearest, accusing Crawford of systematic emotional and physical abuse. Christina's scathing memoir was later adapted in 1981 into a film of that same title starring Faye Dunaway. Remember, things are not always what they seem. Judy Garland, who rocketed to stardom after headlining The Wizard of Oz. Garland was a talented singer and dancer, but was often the subject of ridicule due to her somewhat boxy figure. Remember, this is back then. So being pressured to lose weight and commit to a grueling hours of rehearsal, Garland soon became addicted to prescriptions, uppers and downers. Though her career had several ups and downs, she ultimately wasn't able to overcome her struggle with addiction, though, and died of an alleged overdose at the age of 47 years old. Well, that's it. Stay tuned for more. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe for more because I have a lot more videos coming. Bye.